So let's see where we were 4 years ago and where we're at today. And you've moved on a lot. So this is me and Corey first started wholesaling, 4 years ago, was it?
It's actually the deal was actually 3 years ago.
3 years.
2018. We're in 2021, right?
Okay, so 3 years ago. So 3 years ain't that long, It hasn't been that long of time, right?
Yeah.
So 3 years ago, me and Corey literally started wholesaling, had no experience in real estate at all. He had some, I didn't have any.
Little,
and we didn't have any money, so what we did is we went knocking in Sandy. And I knocked on this door, and this guy came out, and he looked kind of pretty grungy, like he was on drugs, like meth. And I said, "Hey, my name's Nathan. We're looking to buy houses in the area. Are you interested?" He's like, "I don't live here. My grandma lives here. Here's her. She's thinking about selling." So I said, "Can I have her number?" He gives me her number. I call her. Corey goes on an appointment with her, and locks her up just because she was ready to go at 2:15. And you got that deal. I think we gave it to you to 205 eventually, or 204. But we had originally locked it up at 215, and then me and Corey looked at the comps again, and we were like, I think we locked it up too high. So Corey went the next day and said, "Hey, I'm really sorry. We thought your house had a basement. We're actually going to be need to be at 170." And she just lost it on him. She was so pissed. Like, how dare you? I already packed like one box. This was a day. Yeah. This was a day after
she'd done a bunch of work.
She was so mad. She's like, "I already packed a box. You guys have ruined my life because I was ready." And so we canceled the agreement. And then 3 months later, Corey was telling me, as we were brand new wholesalers, he was like, "Nate, if we want to be successful in this business, we have to start caring about the people, not about the money, but caring about the individual." So then I said, "Hey, Corey, remember Barbara? We kind of put her in a bad position, from what she said. She was upset that she didn't get to move and she had packed that box. Let's go back to her and see how she's doing." So Corey's like, "I'm not going back to her. She lit me up." So I said, "I'll go there." So we drive over there. I'm like, "Corey, just come to the door." He's like, "I'm not getting out of the car. You go, and if she wants to talk to us, we'll go. I'll go in there." So I go to the door. I knock on the door. I say, "Hey, Barbara, we were going to buy your house. We got our comps wrong. I'm really sorry. Just want to apologize. Are you still interested in selling?" She's like, "No, get out of here." So I with my head down, I walk back to the car, and then she as I'm about to get in the car, she comes out the door, and I just see a hand waving me over. I'm like, "Oh no, she's about to light me up." So I go to there, and she calls me in the house, and she walks me over to 2 boxes on the ground. She's like, "Those are the boxes I packed when you guys told me you're gonna buy my house, and you guys didn't." That I was ready, and I said, "Hey, look, I apologize again. We care about you. What can we do to make this work?" So Corey, she was ready to talk because we were ready to, we cared about her. Sat in the house, and we were, after about 5 or 7 appointments, we were actually able to lock her down for 178. Fast forward 6 months later, you got the deal.
Yeah, yeah, and that was a lot of effort and work for you guys, right?
And there's a lot that goes into
this. That's the most effort one of the most efforts.
Well, and I don't think the story stops there. So I've never heard all of that, right? But
that's how I got it.
That goes to show the fortunes in the follow up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good for you guys for following up with her,
dude.
And at the end of the day, she was happy because she got to move. She paid cash for her next property, right?
Yep. And she could barely afford her mortgage, even though it was super low, but she was able to pay cash, was out of there, had some cash to go. But the story doesn't end there. So after we had got it under contract, we had assigned it to a buyer. I think you know him. We won't say his name. He agreed to buy it. And then because we were new at wholesaling and he knew we didn't have a lot of buyers, a week before close or 2 weeks before close, he was like, "Hey guys, I know I said I was going to pay 205. I'll pay 180." Because he knew we had it at 178. So he was just trying to rock us.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Hey, we ain't playing this game with you." Yeah. So then we
sold him our first deal and made $5K.
Yeah,
I think he thought that was too much for us.
Yeah, he had the kind of mindset back then. I don't know if it is now. You need to pay your freaking dues, and you're not making money. So we had sent that out again, and you came through, and you walked the house, and you offered to buy a 205, and we were like, hallelujah, we're about to make $17K. That just helped us a ton. I don't know exactly the numbers, but it was like that.
Yeah.
But so you came in. And this is where it got kind of crazy. This is where the deal got crazy. We had told her that she would have a week after close to move out. And then as soon as you close, you're like, "Guys, she needs to be out of there tomorrow."
Yeah. I just remember Jordy was pushing me so hard
dude.
to get her out. I was
and we
"Bro,
were
I'm trying."
because until that time, we had done like 3 wholesale deals, and they were all vacant. So we had never thought, okay,
Yeah,
what
it wasn't
happens
an
when
issue.
Yeah.
we had
We
never
didn't
thought
understand like the urgency,
The
of
occupancy
the
on
money
the
and
we had-
purchase contract.
So he was like,
Yeah.
and I understand you didn't want them staying in there for a long time. So you're like, come on, guys. So we went there the day after close, and we're like, hey, the buyer that we were working with, he wants you guys out. I know it's kind of inconvenient, but we're gonna help you move. So we freaking got like a big 26-foot U-Haul. We told her we would move her ourselves, which is the biggest mistake ever because she was a hoarder.
Yeah.
So we start, me, Corey, our 2 cold callers that were working for us at the time, we start packing this freaking truck up. And it takes about 6 hours later, we've gotten like this far in the truck. Like,
Do you
Yeah.
remember how much stuff she had?
She had a lot.
So much.
Yeah, the
stuff.
2 boxes that she had previously packed, I'm sure was already packed from her last move.
oh,
Yeah,
guaranteed, dude.
exactly.
So we tried to move her stuff and got nothing done in like 6 hours. And we were paying our cold callers doing, and they didn't really want to touch anything. And
Yeah,
don't wanna
well,
touch anything.
yeah, I remember when we were trashing out the house, there's animal feces
Oh.
under piles of stuff in the garage.
yeah, dude.
It
And
was,
then
it was
it was bad.
not my worst house I've ever bought, but it was
it's pretty bad.
it was up there.
So what happened is we were moving this stuff, and then it said, Corey, we can't do this anymore. We're gonna be here for about 2 weeks moving, and Jordy's gonna be upset with us. So we had to hurry. So I went on Facebook, found like graveyard movers or some like prison yard movers, and I called the number. These guys showed up. They were like shaved heads. These guys looked like they just came out of the prison yard, and they were literally like the Tasmanian devil on Space Jam, like spit shine. They came through that house in like a couple hours, and all the stuff was packed. dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first truck was packed within like 2 hours.
These guys one dude had a limp.
They're just
He was like
tossing
carrying
stuff.
like a straight dresser on his shoulder with a limp, and I'm like, this guy is like Hercules. Anyway, these movers were amazing.
Yeah, that just goes to show like when you stay in your lane and you hire people for specific things, right? Like this is why I don't wholesale,
Yeah,
because you wholesalers, like you guys do a better job at talking to people than I would because it's what you do.
no, dude,
Right?
crazy.
Yeah.
So they packed it up, and it actually took 2 26-foot trucks. So we had to go get another U-Haul, and you got the house, so it wasn't even all cleaned out like
No.
perfectly. So can you imagine 2 26-foot trucks? She had so much stuff. So anyway, we moved her out. My man got his house somewhat clean. That was our first deal we did with you, and yeah, man, we've been on the trajectory of us solely trying to build a wholesaling business.